This is what the Meta Quest 3 recording looks like by default. Yeah, it's rough. And the second you crop or zoom this for anything, it falls apart. But with a few tweaks you can get this, and I'm gonna teach you how. I make VR content for a living, and honestly this drives me insane. VR is already hard to really showcase on a flat screen, so if the recording looks worse than what you actually see in the headset, it completely kills the experience. And I still see people posting like this. Square video, blurred background just to fill the frame. It just looks amateur. Sorry, but it does. So if you want your gameplay to actually look as good as it feels in VR, this matters. Now let's fix this, and it turns out there isn't just one solution. You can tweak the built-in settings, which helps a bit, or unlock hidden settings that Meta doesn't show you, which looks way better but it's kind of a pain. Or there's one option that basically fixes everything in seconds. And depending on how far you go, the quality difference is massive. So this is the default. It's okay, but the quality is still pretty low. And the second you push it, crop it, zoom it, anything, it just falls apart. More compression, less detail, it just doesn't hold up. So yeah, this is your starting point. Now before you install anything, Meta actually gives you a few built-in upgrades. You can switch to 60 FPS, bump the bitrate up to 14 megabits per second, change the codec, even add stabilization. And yeah, this already looks noticeably better. And to be fair, this used to be way worse. I actually worked with Meta on improving these settings, and most of what you see here didn't exist a couple of years ago. So this is a big step up from default, and here's a side-by-side of all of the bitrate options that Meta offers in the official settings. Hopefully this comes across well after YouTube compression, but you'll definitely see it later on when we crank it up to 100, quite literally. So these settings are decent, but it still feels like it's holding back. Because Meta has to play it safe, higher settings mean more performance cost. So while this is a great starting point, this is where most people stop, and where the quality kind of plateaus. So if you want to push things further, this is where people start going into the hidden settings, or what's called ADB commands. These are small sets of instructions for Android devices that allow you to access things you wouldn't be normally able to. You can go beyond what Meta allows, higher bitrate, more control over resolution, all of that. And the easiest way to use them is with SideQuest, which now even allows you to actually do some of this directly on the headset, which somewhat simplifies the process. But this is where it starts getting annoying. Even SideQuest's built-in ADB commands are limited, and if you really want full control, you're dealing with manual ADB commands. Typing things in manually, testing values to see what works best, and the worst part, every time you restart your headset, it resets. So you're doing this over and over again. And yeah, you can get better quality here. But even then, it still feels like you're fighting the system to get there. And after a while, I just wanted something that actually made this easy. And this is where I thought, okay, this is just how it is. Until I found something I wasn't even looking for. I already knew about Quest Games Optimizer for boosting performance. But then I realized it also lets you control recording settings. And not just a few things, like everything. Just tap a button and it's done. Now I hate this term, but this has genuinely been a game changer for recording Quest 3 gameplay. With Quest Games Optimizer, you're not just tweaking things anymore, you're in full control. You can change the aspect ratio to whatever you want, 16:9, vertical, even 1:1. Push the resolution all the way up to full 4K, dial the bitrate exactly where you want it, and run everything at 60 FPS. Here's a comparison between default Meta settings and maxed out QGO settings. I think the results are pretty substantial here. Now obviously you can't max everything in every game, it depends on how demanding the game actually is. But the best part is you're doing all of this directly in the headset. No commands, no reconnecting, no resetting everything every time. Just click a setting and it updates instantly. This is honestly everything I wish Meta just gave us by default. And because it's built around game profiles, you can actually push quality without completely breaking performance because you can tweak things to your exact liking. And yeah, QGO is $10, but for me this is easily the best way to record gameplay on Quest. There is one more option, but this one's a bit different. With Meta Quest Developer Hub, you're casting your headset's view to your PC or Mac, and you can either record it there or still record directly on the headset with these settings applied. And the big advantage here is this wide mode. It captures way more of your field of view. So instead of seeing your hands here, you're seeing way more of your arms, your gear, just more of what you actually see in VR. So if you want a more zoomed out look or more flexibility when editing, this is really nice. And since you can record on your PC, you would also skip the step of transferring the files later. It's already there, ready to edit. But it's also the most involved setup. You've got to connect to your PC, start everything there, and you don't always know if something broke until you've been recording for 3 hours and realize none of it is usable. So yeah, it can be a bit buggy sometimes. My only recommendation here is that if you find a version that is stable, just don't update. It's happened way too many times that an update broke something, so best just to avoid it. This isn't really a better option, it's just different. Realistically, all of these options are there for you, and which one is best really just depends on your setup, your priorities, and how far you want to push things. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. But if you just want the simple answer, for the quick and easy method, just max out the built-in settings. It's not amazing, but it's good enough for casual clips and it keeps the file sizes low. If you want the best quality without the headache, Quest Games Optimizer is the way to go. It gives you the most control with the least effort. And if you specifically want that wider field of view, that's where the Developer Hub makes sense. But for most people, QGO is the move if you're serious about recording on Quest. Like and subscribe if you found this useful, and here's 2 other videos you might like next. Totally your call. See you next time, guys. Cheers.